In 1997, a research team from the United States detected something unusual during their studies. A mysterious, powerful sound wave from the deep sea. They called it the bloop. For years, descriptions of the bloop evoked images of a colossal sea creature, a monster larger than anything known to science. What could it be, and why does it sound so scary? In this video, we will explore the story of the bloop, from its mysterious discovery to its surprising scientific explanation. Our story begins with a relic of the Cold War, the Sound Surveillance System, or SOSUS. This was a secret network of underwater microphones called hydrophones that the U.S. Navy placed on the ocean floor. Its purpose was to detect the sound of Soviet submarines. These hydrophones were perfectly positioned in a layer of the ocean known as the SOFAR channel, which acts like a sound pipeline, allowing low-frequency noises to travel for thousands of miles. When the Cold War ended, the Navy gave scientists at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, access to this incredible system. Researchers began using SOSUS to listen to Earth's natural sounds, deep-sea volcanoes, shifting tectonic plates, and the songs of whales. Then, in the summer of 1997, the network recorded something entirely new. From a remote point in the South Pacific, west of Chile, a powerful and perplexing sound emerged. NOAA scientists had never heard anything like it. Based on the noise it made when sped up, they gave it a simple name: the bloop. Imagine a noise so powerful it was detected by sensors more than 5,000 kilometers apart. The sound was recorded in the South Pacific, but its reach was astonishing. This wasn't just a noise, it was a planetary-scale event. The acoustic signature of the bloop was unique. It was an ultra-low frequency sound that rose in pitch over about a minute. When NOAA's chief scientist for the project, Dr. Christopher Fox, analyzed it, he was stumped. It didn't look like a submarine, a bomb, or any known geologic event. To appreciate its power, we can compare it to the blue whale, whose call is one of the loudest in the animal kingdom. The bloop was so powerful that it traveled across the entire Pacific basin. Dr. Fox noted that its frequency profile resembled that of a living creature. But if it was biological, the creature that made it would have to be far larger and more powerful than any known animal on Earth. This single detail launched the bloop into a global mystery. The data suggested something enormous and unknown was down there. With no official explanation, the world's imagination took over. The most popular theory was that of a massive, undiscovered sea monster. This idea was fueled by Dr. Fox's own observation that the sound's profile was similar to a biological one. What kind of creature could make such a sound? A giant squid, bigger than any we've ever seen? Or maybe a new species of whale that dwarfed the blue whale? The mystery tapped directly into our primal fascination with the ocean's depths. However, it's important to note that we know more about the surface of the moon than we do about our own ocean floor. Over 80% of the ocean is still unexplored. In a world where so much is known, the deep sea is one of our last frontiers, a place where monsters could perhaps still be real. Of course, other theories existed. Some suggested secret military tests or a new type of volcanic activity. But no explanation was as captivating as a living Leviathan. The sound's biological character was the key. To many, it simply sounded alive. While speculation ran wild, NOAA scientists continued their work. For them, the bloop was an anomaly that required an evidence-based answer. They kept gathering acoustic data, deploying more hydrophones near Antarctica to study seafloor volcanoes and earthquakes. And it was there, near the frozen continent, that they found their answer. Between 2005 and 2011, scientists discovered that massive ice quakes, huge chunks of ice breaking off glaciers, create powerful underwater sounds. When they compared these to the 1997 bloop spectrogram, it was an almost perfect match. The bloop wasn't a sea monster, but the cracking of a giant iceberg in the Antarctic, carried by the SOFAR channel across the Pacific. So why did the monster theory last? Because we love stories, and a hidden creature sounds more exciting than melting ice. But the truth is more serious. Ice quakes like this are increasing due to climate change. The bloop was less a roar from the deep and more a warning from our planet. A few years ago, a strange video went viral online. It showed a fishing boat somewhere near the Mariana Trench. Everything was calm until a loud, deep sound echoed through the ship. The sonar screens flickered. The crew said it felt like something alive was nearby. People started calling it the Sea Eater. Not long after, more videos showed up. Some had strange sounds. Others had animations of a huge sea monster. TikTok and YouTube were full of clips claiming the Sea Eater was real. Some even said it was caught on camera. Some claimed it was a giant creature never seen before. Others said it was the return of something ancient, something like the Megalodon. You know, the massive shark that lived millions of years ago, 3 times the size of a great white. What if it never really went extinct? What if it just moved into deeper waters, where we can't see? Till today, you see new videos and sounds labeling Sea Eater. Sea Eater joined the ranks of other mysterious ocean mysteries like the Bloop. Then there's Gran Maja. People believed it was a monster from the deep. And don't forget Ningen, the Japanese legend of a human-shaped creature seen in Antarctica. People actually love mysteries, and some creators know exactly how to tell a scary story. YouTubers added dramatic music, fake deep-sea animations, even false captions like official Navy footage. Some claimed it was based on true events, but there were no news reports, no scientific records, nothing. Online investigators and sound experts began digging into the original Sea Eater audio. And guess what they found? The sound wasn't from the ocean at all. It was actually a loon call, a regular bird. Someone had slowed it down and added effects to make it sound terrifying. Starting from just a story created by artist Trevor Henderson, who is known for making horror fiction, it spread like wildfire, and many people believed it was real. The fact that over 90% of the ocean remains unexplored, it makes stories like this feel possible, which is why so many fall for them. Now, this story is a few years old, and in today's age of artificial intelligence, we shouldn't trust any video unless its source is verified. In the future, you'll probably see even more creepy and fake content. That's why it's important to search for the truth and follow verified creators. Some of those who spread fake stories might even report our channel, but we're not worried as long as you keep supporting us. It was midnight in Antarctica, bitter cold and deadly quiet. A Japanese research ship was slowly moving through thick sheets of ice. The crew was used to long hours, strange sea creatures, and silence. But on that night, something different happened. One of the crew members shouted. The others ran to the deck, thinking maybe a whale or iceberg had been spotted. But what they saw didn't make sense. A huge pale figure floating just under the surface. It looked white as snow, smooth, no fins, no eyes. And then it moved, not like a fish, not like a whale. It moved like a human. The crew was frozen. Someone took a blurry photo before the creature disappeared into the dark ocean. The team stayed silent for days. They weren't sure what they had seen, but back in Japan, stories started spreading. A giant sea creature, pale, humanoid, silent, watching. They started calling it the Ningen. In Japanese, that means human. But this was no ordinary human. According to whispers online, the Ningen is anywhere from 20 to 30 meters long. It's said to have arms, legs, and even fingers. Some say it has a face, others say it has no eyes, just smooth, white skin, like it was never meant to be seen. Some describe it like a mermaid, others like a ghost. But always it's white, always it's in the coldest parts of the ocean, and always it vanishes before you can get a second look. Over the years, more sightings popped up, a mysterious shape captured on Google Earth. Strange movements caught by deep-sea cameras. One clip even shows what looks like a pale figure swimming beneath the ice. It sent forums into a frenzy. People began asking, is it real or is it fake? Many scientists believe the Ningen isn't real. They say the creature is probably just an iceberg shaped like a body, or maybe a beluga whale seen from a weird angle. Some think the entire story was born on internet forums, fueled by creepypastas and curiosity. But here's the thing, we've only explored a small part of our oceans. More than 80% of the deep sea remains untouched, unseen, and unknown. So when people say the Ningen is just a myth, maybe it is, but maybe in the cold, deep parts of the ocean, far from the eyes of humans, there are whispers of a strange creature. Gran Maja, a name that started appearing online with creepy photos and mysterious stories. Some people say it's a giant sea monster, bigger than anything alive today. Others believe it's just a hoax. But what's the real story behind El Gran Maja? The first time most people heard of El Gran Maja was through blurry pictures on the internet. A fish so huge it didn't even look real. Some claimed it was found by fishermen who were too scared to speak out. Others said the government was hiding something. And then comparisons started. People began comparing El Gran Maja to the Bloop, that mysterious deep-sea sound caught by scientists in 1997. Some wonder, was El Gran Maja a prehistoric creature? Could it be something from the past that somehow survived in the deep, dark corners of the sea? Maybe a cousin of Megalodon, the biggest sea predator to ever live. The idea is wild, but not impossible. At least, not for those who believe the ocean holds more than we've seen. Scientists have discovered strange and loud sounds coming from deep underwater. Some are linked to whales, earthquakes, or ice, but many are still unexplained. These sounds come from somewhere deep below, but we don't always know what's making them. So is El Gran Maja real? Could it be something we've never documented, hiding where no human has reached? Here's what we do know. There's no official scientific record of a creature by that name. No confirmed sightings, no fossil evidence. In many of the photos online, they look suspicious, blurry, low resolution, and likely edited. Some experts believe it's nothing more than an internet myth, a viral story made to feed our fascination with the unknown. But that doesn't stop people from wondering. Because the truth is, the ocean is still full of mysteries. And until we explore every corner of it, anything is possible. The Leviathan isn't just a figure from the Bible. Similar sea creatures appear in many religions. Islamic traditions mention powerful sea creatures as part of God's creation. And even Hinduism features cosmic serpents like Shesha and Vritra, symbolizing the ocean's mysteries. However, in this video, we will focus solely on the Bible, as it is the only book that provides a detailed explanation of the Leviathan. In Scripture, the Leviathan is described as a powerful creature that only God can defeat, making it one of the most intriguing mysteries. If unleashed, humanity could do nothing to stop it. So what else does the Bible say about this creature? And who will ultimately bring the Leviathan to an end? If you want to learn more about this creature and its meaning, stay tuned to this video. At the end, I will show you real recordings so you can decide for yourself. The Leviathan appears in the Old Testament as a great sea monster that represents chaos and destruction. In Genesis 1:21, the Bible suggests that God created it on the fifth day of creation. And God created the great sea monsters, and every living creature that moveth wherewith the waters swarmed after their kind, and every winged bird after its kind. Did you know that the Bible says there were originally two Leviathans, but one was defeated? In Psalm 74:13-14, it mentions that God used his power to divide the sea and defeat sea monsters, including Leviathan. He crushed their heads and gave them as food to desert animals. The text suggests Leviathan had multiple heads. It also states that another Leviathan will be defeated by God during the final judgment, which I will discuss later in the video. In the book of Job, Leviathan is described as such a fearsome beast that we would prefer not to see it. It is portrayed as a huge creature that we can only imagine in our nightmares. Let me read a part of this description. Job, chapter 41. Can you catch Leviathan with a hook, or tie down its tongue with a rope? Can you put a rein in its nose, or pierce its jaw with a hook? Will it beg you for mercy and speak soft words to you? Will it make a promise to be your servant forever? Can you make it a pet like a bird, or give it to your daughters to play with? Will it trade itself in the market for bargains? Will they cut it into pieces to sell? Can you pierce its skin with arrows, or its head with harpoons? If you lay a hand on it, you will remember the fight forever and never try again. The hope of capturing it will be in vain, for just seeing it will make you faint. If someone provokes it, it becomes enraged. No one on earth is able to confront it. No one in all the world. These descriptions are scary, but could they be about powers or governments as a metaphor? I don't think so. In chapter 41 of the book of Job, the Bible talks about a beast in a real way. The details are specific and describe a huge creature, maybe a dragon, that no one can catch. No one can even face it. Verse 18 says this animal can breathe fire when it sneezes. In verse 19 it says, its snorting throws out flashes of light. Its eyes are like the rays of dawn. Nothing on earth is like it. It was made to feel no fear. It faces even the proudest and is the king of all animals. We know we couldn't even look at it without fainting, but how will God destroy this Leviathan? How will God eliminate it? Ephesians 6:17 mentions God will end Leviathan simply by mentioning it because the sword of God is his words. It would have no chance to stand against its creator. Now let's come to some real recordings. In Antarctica, there are strange sounds we don't fully understand. It's the fourth largest continent and is mostly unexplored due to its freezing temperatures. On March 1st, 1999, NOAA detected a loud noise called Julia. They think it might have come from a giant iceberg that got stuck. Exact source is still not confirmed, as said in NOAA's website. Here is the sound you can listen. Another strange sound is called train. This noise was recorded on March 5, 1997, by an acoustic monitoring system. NOAA believes it might have come from a large iceberg touching the seabed in the Ross Sea near Cape Adare, and it sounds like a train. You can listen to it yourself. On May 19, 1997, another loud noise named slowdown was recorded. This sound's frequency gradually decreased over about 7 minutes. There are more sounds like the bloop and upsweep as well from the depths of oceans. It's amazing to think there might still be unknown creatures out there. We often believe we've discovered most things, but that's not true. More than a third of all marine species are still undiscovered, which makes sense since 95% of the ocean remains unexplored. What could be living in those depths? Can they survive the extreme pressure at the ocean floor? Leviathan also appears in Jewish mythology and other texts like the Book of Enoch. These stories say that at the beginning of time, God created a female Leviathan to live in the ocean and a male called the land monster who lived in an invisible desert east of the Garden of Eden. They are said to have fought, leading to their destruction, but some texts claim this battle will happen at the end of time instead. In this final confrontation, they will join with another monster and fight together. The behemoth will charge with its horns, while Leviathan will leap to attack with its fins. Then God will approach with a mighty sword and kill them both. With Leviathan's skin, God will build canopies to welcome the righteous, who will enjoy the meat of the behemoth and Leviathan with great joy. This story is found in the Talmud, a text that includes the Bible and the oral traditions, teachings, rituals, and rules of Judaism. It probably affects Jewish life more than the Old Testament. This text also mentions Leviathan and says, there are 12 hours in a day. During the first 3 hours, God sits and studies the Torah. In the next 3 hours, he dedicates himself to judging the world. In the following 3 hours, he nourishes all of creation. And in the last period of 3 hours, God plays with Leviathan. In demonology, Leviathan is a powerful water demon that tries to take over people and is hard to get rid of. In satanic cults, he is seen as a key demon in a false trinity with Lucifer, symbolizing chaos. Many of these stories don't have support from the Bible. However, it is clear that God will defeat him at the end of time, leading some to believe that this sea dragon represents Satan, known as Leviathan. There are many opinions on this topic, which sparks ongoing discussion. What do you think? Do you believe Leviathan is real? The blue whale is not the only giant that once swam in the seas. Long ago, sharks like the Megalodon ruled the seas, much like dinosaurs dominated the land. This giant shark lived about 36 million years ago and could reach lengths of up to 60 feet. Its jaw was an impressive 3 meters wide, much larger than a human's, and it boasted around 270 sharp teeth, each up to 7 inches long. For a long time, scientists believed it was completely wiped out. But recently, clues have emerged that left them scratching their heads. In this video, we'll uncover the truth, including some reported sightings and surprising evidence that has puzzled scientists. The Megalodon was huge. It weighed about 100 tons. To keep its massive body running, it needed to eat a lot, up to 1 ton of food per day, which is about as heavy as a small car. Megalodons mostly fed on large animals like whales, sea cows, sea lions, and even other sharks. Even when they were born, they were already enormous, around 10 feet long and weighing between 2 and 3 tons. Growing up in such a big body meant they needed a lot of energy right from the start. Because they needed so much food and space to move around, megalodons didn't stay near busy coastlines. Instead, they roamed far out in the open ocean, where warm waters gave them plenty of room and prey. Scientists think this lifestyle helped them catch big animals, but also forced them to travel long distances to find enough food. Megalodon's size made it vulnerable to water shortages. When the ocean's water levels dropped or conditions changed, the space where it could live and find food shrank significantly. Despite their power, their extinction remains a mystery. Unlike dinosaurs whose extinction was caused by an asteroid, no one knows why Megalodon disappeared. Some theories suggest that other sea creatures evolved quickly, increasing in number and competing for food. Although Megalodon was large, its population was much smaller than that of great white sharks, which were rapidly increasing during the same time. About 3.6 million years ago, the ocean was very cold, but Megalodon needed warm water to thrive. When the seas got colder, Megalodon moved to warmer areas. However, the fish it ate stayed in the cold waters, leaving it with fewer food options. Is Megalodon still alive? Some finds make people wonder. In 1875, 2 Megalodon teeth were found in the ocean. Carbon dating showed these teeth are only about 10,000 years old, even though scientists believe Megalodon died out millions of years ago. How can these teeth be so young? In 2009, a History Channel documentary reported a huge shark in the Gulf of California. Locals said this shark was eating fish fast and was about 45 feet long, much larger than a great white shark, which grows up to 20 feet. The team searched for this giant shark many times, but they never found it. Many people believe Megalodon died out millions of years ago and think new photos and evidence are fake. Still, sometimes animals thought to be extinct are found again. For example, the coelacanth was believed to be extinct for 66 million years, but in 1938, one was found off the coast of South Africa. This shows that some creatures can survive for a very long time. In 1976, scientists discovered the rare megamouth shark. This strange shark has been around for about 65 million years, but is very rare. Megamouth sharks can grow up to 7 meters long and weigh around 1,215 kilograms. Even today, we have explored only about 5% of the ocean. We know little about the other 95% and the creatures living there, especially in deep areas like the Mariana Trench. Is the Megalodon still alive? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below. March 1997. Scientists record a sound that stuns them. It's loud, it's eerie, and no one knows what made it. Some call it the train sound, because it sounds like a train, but it's coming from deep beneath the ocean, and it still has everyone guessing. This sound wasn't a blip. It was steady, low-pitched, and carried across thousands of miles. Experts thought it might be a ship or a submarine, but it didn't match anything we've built. Let's first listen to the sound. At first, scientists thought the train sound came from submarines or ships nearby, but later they realized it was too far away to be made by humans. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the agency that recorded this, couldn't confirm the exact source of it. They said it was most likely an iceberg. They are not sure as stated on their official website. And that's when the theories began. The truth is, we know more about the surface of the moon than we do about our own oceans. It's mind-blowing, isn't it? And this isn't the only deep-sea sound that's left scientists stumped. There's the famous bloop sound, the Julia sound, which feels like a distant scream, the upsweep, a strange, repeating noise, and the slowdown, which still has no clear source. What incredible creatures could be lurking down there, making these bizarre sounds? So, what if it wasn't an iceberg? Could it be something bigger? Theories range from the Megalodon, a shark the size of a school bus, to the Leviathan, a sea creature straight out of legend. Some even say it could be an undiscovered predator roaming the deep. But the reality is we simply don't know. The ocean is a vast and largely unexplored frontier, and that's what makes it so exciting. Who knows what incredible discoveries await us? The train sound, a reminder that the ocean still holds countless secrets. What do you think it is? Let me know in the comments below. One of those mysteries is a strange sound called whistle. This sound, recorded on July 7th, 1997, is high-pitched, like the whistle of a boiling kettle. It was picked up by a single hydrophone in the Eastern Pacific at 0 degrees 8 minutes north, 110 degrees west, but only one device caught it, which makes it very hard to figure out where it came from. Without recordings from more devices, scientists can't say for sure if the sound was nearby or if it traveled a very long way through the water. This has kept people guessing for years. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has a guess. They think whistle might be linked to underwater volcanoes. Similar sounds have been recorded from erupting submarine volcanoes like the West Mata near western Samoa. The hydrophone network in the Eastern Pacific has also picked up sounds like this from the Mariana Volcanic Arc, over 14,000 kilometers away. Maybe whistle was created by a faraway volcanic eruption, with its sound waves traveling across the ocean. It's possible, but not certain. There is no solid proof that whistle came from a volcano. You might wonder why I'm saying this. Well, it's because whistle isn't the only mysterious sound coming from the ocean. There are many others, like the upsweep, which remains unexplained to this day, as noted on NOAA's official website. Remember, 95% of the ocean is still unexplored, and we have no idea what's down there. We hear these strange sounds, and scientists can only make educated guesses about their origins. This is what makes the mystery more interesting. It might be the sound of a giant sea creature we haven't discovered yet, or could it be something even stranger, like evidence of aliens under the sea? The ocean is full of unknowns, so almost anything could be true. Let's listen to the sound for a moment. What do you think it is? A natural event or something unusual that we can't explain? Whistle is one of many things that show how much we still have to learn about the ocean. It's a reminder of the secrets that are waiting to be found. What's your theory about whistle? The upsweep. The upsweep is a mysterious sound that has puzzled scientists and ocean enthusiasts alike. It's a long series of narrowband, sweeping tones, each lasting several seconds. This sound was first detected in August 1991 by underwater microphones called hydrophones, which are used to monitor the ocean for sounds across vast distances. Interestingly, the sound is powerful enough to be recorded throughout the Pacific Ocean. The sound's unique character lies in its seasonal pattern. It tends to peak during the spring and fall. According to NOAA, the sound source seems to originate from a remote part of the Pacific Ocean, an area associated with volcanic seismic activity. But here's where it gets fascinating. Despite being recorded since 1991, the origin of the sound remains unresolved as per NOAA. The ocean keeps its secrets well, leaving the sound firmly in the realm of the unexplained. Interestingly, while the intensity of the upsweep has been decreasing since 1991, it hasn't vanished. It can still be heard during certain times of the year. Here's what the upsweep sounds like. Let's listen together. So what could the upsweep really be? Is it geological, caused by shifting plates or underwater eruptions? Could it be biological, perhaps an undiscovered marine species? Or is it something else entirely? Some people even wonder if it could be linked to something more unusual. After all, the ocean is vast and largely unexplored. What do you think? Could it be the call of a sea monster, like theories surrounding the Bloop and Julia? Or is there a more scientific explanation waiting to be discovered? The Julia sound, it was so loud that it could be heard thousands of miles away. This eerie noise is often compared to the bloop sound. Today we're going to explore the mystery behind this strange sound. Could it be a signal from a massive sea creature? Or maybe something far more powerful lurking beneath the ocean surface? After all, 95% of the ocean remains unexplored. And who knows what creatures, like the ancient Megalodon, could still be hiding in the depths? Some even wonder if aliens are behind it all. Stick with me as we will answer all your questions. Let's first listen to the sound. On March 1st, 1999, NOAA's hydrophones, underwater microphones designed to pick up sounds, recorded a peculiar noise deep in the Pacific Ocean. It wasn't a whale, nor was it a typical underwater noise. It was unlike anything scientists had heard before. They named it Julia. The strange part is, what could possibly make such a powerful noise that it could be detected by sensors thousands of miles apart? And why was it so different from everything else? Over the years, a number of wild theories emerged to explain the Julia sound. Let's take a look at some of the most popular ones. First, some people believed it might have been a sea monster. Imagine a creature so huge, it could make a noise that could be heard across the ocean. Could something like the legendary Megalodon, an ancient shark that went extinct millions of years ago, still be lurking down there? The idea of a massive, submarine-sized shark terrorizing the depths is enough to give anyone chills. But of course, there's no evidence to suggest that this prehistoric predator is still alive. Then there's the alien theory. Some suggested that the Julia sound could be an extraterrestrial signal, maybe even from a submerged UFO. After all, we've explored only a tiny fraction of the ocean. What if something is living down there, hidden from our view? The thought of alien life beneath the ocean's surface is definitely intriguing, but there's no solid proof to support it as well. And of course, there's the theory of a secret military experiment. Could it have been a test of some kind of new technology, a submarine test, or even an underwater weapon? The ocean is vast, and it's a perfect place for experiments to remain undetected. As the technology advanced over time, scientists gave a real explanation, and the truth might surprise you. As per the scientists, the truth behind the Julia sound isn't a sea monster or aliens. It's ice. That's right, ice. It was a massive iceberg scraping against the seafloor, which created powerful vibrations that travel through the ocean for miles. In fact, this turned out to be one of the loudest underwater sounds ever recorded. But here's the twist. Some still believe it wasn't an iceberg at all. They think the sound came from a sea monster, or even aliens, with the truth being hidden by authorities. Slow down. A low, creeping noise recorded in the depths of the Pacific Ocean by NOAA's underwater microphones. But what is it? Where does it come from? This isn't the first time we've heard eerie sounds from the deep. Think of the bloop, Julia, whistle, and upsweep. Each sound carries its own mystery. We have explored these topics in our previous videos. Be sure to check them out. And now Slow Down joins the list of unexplained echoes that keep us wondering what's really out there. The name Slow Down comes from the way the sound drops in frequency, like something massive moving through the water. Let's listen to this sound together. Over Over the years, researchers have recorded several mysterious sounds from the ocean's depths. Some, like slowdown, are thought to be caused by icebergs or underwater volcanic activity. Yet others remain unexplained. While NOAA avoids linking these sounds to sea monsters, many still wonder, could they come from something we've never seen? Maybe slowdown is just a natural sound. Or maybe it's not. It reminds us of how little we know about the deep ocean and the secrets it hides. Do you think that these mysterious sounds from the depths of the sea can be the sounds of monsters? Something like Megalodon, Mosasaurus, or Leviathan? Nessie sightings are increasing. Over recent years, more people are claiming they've seen the Loch Ness Monster. New footage, sonar readings, and eyewitness reports are getting attention. So what do you think? Is Nessie real or just a myth? I believe this video might change your mind. In September 2024, a sonar scan from the ship Spirit of Loch Ness spotted a large object at about 98 meters deep. It looked like it had a long neck and was moving against the current. This find was important because it matched the classic description of Nessie. The crew was amazed at how clear the shape was. This reignited the ongoing debate about whether Nessie really exists. Back in July 2024, a webcam show caught something strange. Ian Fagan, a longtime Nessie enthusiast with over 20 years of watching Loch Ness, saw a dark, long shape emerge from the water. It created a big wake and didn't look like any normal animal. Because it was caught on a public webcam, others could see and verify Fagan's report. It added more fuel to the mystery. In April 2024, photographer Perry Malm took a striking picture of a dark object moving against the current near Urquhart Castle. Its shape was long and snake-like, fitting many Nessie descriptions. Some thought it was another sighting, while others guessed it could be a big fish or debris. But for fans of the legend, the photo stirred excitement. October 2023 brought another interesting event. Ian Fagan reviewed webcam footage and saw what looked like two wakes passing quickly through the water. Both showed long, strange objects. Fagan believed these could be two creatures, not just one, moving in the same part of Loch Ness. He thought they might be working together or just showing activity. June 2023, a tourist captured a strange disturbance on video near the North Shore. It looked like a hump rising from the water, moving with a big wake. Many suspected it was Nessie, given the size and shape. Some experts thought it could be a big fish or something submerged. Still, it remains one of the recent pieces adding to the mystery. In May 2023, a drone pilot recorded an unusual shape below the surface. It was long and looked like what people say Nessie is, an elongated creature. Its movement was strange enough to make some think it might be something unseen and large. The drone shot gave a rare view, but it's impossible to say what it really was. A few months earlier, in April 2023, the captain of a Loch Ness tour boat and several passengers saw a large creature trigger a big wake. The captain described the animal as long and moving purposefully. Although some doubted, saying it might be a fish or otter, others believed it was Nessie, especially since all witnesses agreed on what they saw. In early 2023, a sonar scan found something strange at about 230 feet deep. The object was bigger than a fish and fit some classic Nessie descriptions. The researchers couldn't tell if it was a creature, a rock, or debris. Still, it rekindled talk about whether Nessie might be real. February 2023, tourists near Loch Ness saw a hump-shaped object surface briefly. It was long, dark, and looked like Nessie. Because they missed taking footage but were confident about what they saw, the sighting stuck in people's minds as one of their most memorable experiences. In December 2022, a resident walking along the shore saw something big moving beneath the water. It was about 12 feet long and created a notable wake. The resident believed it was not just a regular animal like an otter or fish, but possibly Nessie. The sighting added to the growing list of strange events. November 2022 brought a video of a mysterious wake moving through Loch Ness. It was large and dark, and viewers debated whether it was Nessie or just wake from a boat. Despite the doubts, many still hoped it was the monster, and the footage spread widely. In October 2022, sonar images spotted a large object moving across the loch. It was about 10 meters long and seemed to be swimming. Many thought it resembled Nessie based on descriptions, but skeptics argued it could be anything from a big fish to a geological feature. No one confirmed what it was. Back in September 2022, multiple witnesses saw a floating object in the southern part of Loch Ness. It caused disturbances in the water and looked large and dark. Some guessed it was Nessie, while others said it might have been debris. No conclusive ID was made. In July 2022, visitors reported strange wakes with unusual movement. Some thought these wakes were caused by a large creature, possibly Nessie. Skeptics said it was probably just natural water movements, but the idea kept people guessing. June 2022, a webcam captured a long, dark shape swimming below the surface. The footage prompted many to think it could be Nessie. Experts said it was inconclusive, as it might also have been debris or a big fish, but believers weren't so sure. In May 2022, a tour boat crew and passengers saw a long, hump-like creature cause a disturbance. Several took blurry photos. Because multiple witnesses reported similar things, this was seen as one of the stronger recent sightings. March 2022, a couple walking along the shore saw what they described as a long, dark object moving beneath the water. They insisted it was Nessie. Their account added another piece to the ongoing puzzle. In February 2022, a fisherman noticed strange activity. He saw a long, serpent-like shape coming up and going down in the water. He dismissed the idea it was just an eel and believed it was probably Nessie. January 2022, radar tests detected a large moving object at the same depth where Nessie sightings often appear. It was bigger than a fish and moved steadily across the loch. While it didn't prove anything, it kept the idea of Nessie alive. Over time, about 1,162 sightings have been reported since the first modern sighting in 1933. Why is the government not investigating? All these reports keep the debate alive. Some scientists say they're just misidentifications, illusions, or natural effects. But with so many videos and observations, many wonder if there's something more to the legend. The story of Nessie keeps changing, and each year new sightings and theories come up. Will we ever get clear proof? Only time will tell, but the mystery continues to capture people's imaginations. Ogopogo is another lake monster said to live in Okanagan Lake in British Columbia, Canada. The First Nations people, who lived in the area long before settlers came to America and Canada, have been telling stories about Ogopogo for centuries. This makes Ogopogo's history much older than many other lake monster legends. And now there's this video. It might be the most convincing proof I've ever seen of Ogopogo. Enjoy.
We've had multiple sightings here of 2 or 3 Ogopogo in Lake Okanagan. Perhaps there's more than one.
A creature that local tribes have known about and feared for centuries.
Ogopogo is the English word for Nkakait. It means the sacred one of the water.
A creature that local tribes have known about and feared for centuries.
This experience has had a huge impact on our family. My son won't go swimming past the sandbar anymore, and I definitely am not going in the water.
The first thought is, what is that? And then the second thought is that kid in danger?
Canada holds over 20% of the world's fresh water. In British Columbia alone, there are more than 20,000 lakes. On June 1st, 2019, during a hot summer day, store owner Jim LaRock and his family went to the lake.
Yeah, it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 38 degrees out, Celsius. The water was like glass.
Jim's son was paddleboarding when something terrifying came out of the water.
All of a sudden, I just heard the swooshing sound of something, and I thought my son was just on his paddleboard, and something went right behind him.
A massive, threatening shape was in the water just a few feet away.
Eventually, my son turns, and he actually sees a flipper coming out of the water and smash down in the water. And of course, he starts booking it back on his paddleboard. Yeah.
His son barely escaped, but Jim will never forget seeing the creature, which he guessed was about 120 feet long.
The underside of it was like white, and then the outside was dark.
Scientists have no explanation for what Jim saw.
It's like 1, 2, 3, like 7 fins, and you could see something coming right up out of the water. I mean, it's so flat. There's no way this is the wind or a log.
The first thought is, what is that? And then the second thought is that kid in danger?
This huge lake, 80 miles long, formed during the Ice Age. The Sayux people, the first known inhabitants, lived along its shores for thousands of years. Their descendants, the West Bank First Nation, have long shared stories of a giant creature living in the lake.
Ogopogo exists in our stories, and we have a word for him. If he wasn't real and he didn't exist, we wouldn't have a word for him. We call it Nkakaitk. It means the sacred one of the water.
They believe Nkakaik is no ordinary animal, but a kind of animal god.
Because he's so sacred, he doesn't show himself to just anybody. When you see things from another realm, it's a blessing.
Local historian Bill Stachik thinks the creature is a real animal that science hasn't discovered yet.
When I first moved to Kelowna a number of years ago, I was pretty skeptical about something being in the lake. But I had a sighting off the bridge in 1978.
He took a photograph of what he believes is the creature's head.
It was taken at 130 meters. Looking at it, you can actually see an eye and you can see the mouth here. It was ironic all the time I've spent on boats that here I'm sitting on my patio and I get a picture. We believe it is a predator. We believe that it feeds on fish. There's even been sightings that it could take a duck from the top of the water.
Local scientist Rafael Naue, who grew up near the lake, is determined to find out what's hiding in its depths.
I've had a natural curiosity for wanting to explore and learn more about Okanagan Lake, especially because of its immense size and the fact that it has never been fully explored. And along with that, obviously, comes the topic of Ogopogo.
He's going to a spot where many sightings have been reported.
Okay, so we're here at Squally Point, where there are several underwater cave formations known to exist. So we're going to take a look at those and see this is one of the habitat that Ogopogo may live in.
Now it sends out a remotely operated underwater vehicle. Here we go, he says, ready to explore the lake's cave-like formations.
Just approaching what looks like a cave feature here. So this is a potential habitat a large creature or an unknown creature may be able to hide in. A few years ago, I was doing an underwater investigation and I came across some interesting formations on the bottom sediment which looked like a pattern of footprints. The footprints suggest that there may be an ambush predator that may walk along the lake floor and then push off, creating those indentations in the lake sediment.
Large footprints on the lake floor look strange, but similar giant dinosaur footprints have been found in the mountains of Morrison, Colorado, where a prehistoric sea once existed.
Scientists are still discovering on a yearly basis new species on the planet that have not been known about before, and I'm just open to exploring this mystery.
Coming up, could these lake monsters be Jurassic survivors?
They've been around since before the dinosaurs. They look like they belong with the dinosaurs.
And in a Chinese hospital, what does this man just put down?
Looks like a huge white egg. So where in the world did that come from?
In a lake in the Canadian wilderness, a boy escapes from a giant water creature. Marine biologist Eric Hovland looks at the footage and thinks of a Jurassic reptile called a plesiosaur and of Scotland's Loch Ness monster.
Nessie comes to mind right away. Was that a plesiosaur that lives in Loch Ness? Is there something similar in this lake?
Fierce plesiosaurs ruled Earth's waters 65 million years ago. Some believe Nessie is a plesiosaur whose ancestors came into the loch from the sea.
However, recent science and discoveries have shown us that perhaps it isn't a plesiosaur.
Scientists have been studying the DNA that they've collected from Loch Ness to find out what animals are living beneath the surface.
Researchers from New Zealand studied DNA in Loch Ness. They found something surprising.
They did find a lot of eel DNA.
The oldest eels lived over 100 million years ago, when huge predators roamed the seas. Eels evolved into over 800 species, some very large.
Some of those eels can grow close to 30 feet long. That could easily be mistaken for a monster.
But the creature Jim filmed in Canada is far bigger than any known eel. Marine biologist Danny Washington wonders if it could be another type of Canadian lake monster.
There have been a lot of eyewitness reports of eel-like fishes swimming through Canadian lakes, but what they're seeing might be a sturgeon. Lake sturgeon can grow to be quite large. These animals can easily be confused for a monster swimming through a lake.
When swimming, a sturgeon's stiff back often sticks out of the water, just like in the video.
There have been some massive sturgeons discovered. For example, in China, they found a sturgeon that was half a ton. That's 1,000 pounds.
But no sturgeon has ever come close to 120 feet long.
That's about the size of 5 sturgeons lined up all together.
Whatever this monster is, some locals now refuse to go in the water.
Well, this experience has had a huge impact on our family. My son won't go swimming past the sandbar anymore, and I definitely am not going in the water.
People are still continuing to report sightings. Just last year, there were 3 sightings in 3 weeks.
Until we get a carcass or some DNA samples, we're not going to know exactly what it is.
In my view, the video shows something is or was out there. I can't say exactly what it is, but it seems more than just a big fish or some otters. If you watch closely, you can see flippers coming out of the water as it swims. I don't think it has spiritual powers, but I do think it could be an undiscovered aquatic creature. We find new animals in oceans and lakes all the time.